Hello, Philos. This is the beginning of part two. Anybody that's just starting this video, you might want to look at part one and watch the video by Philos71. Five questions every intelligent atheist must answer, so that this video will make more sense. As I was saying, morality is not based on evolution. It's based on a logical and empirical analysis of public life, social contracts, and other ideas. But these happen on a colloquial level in tribes, amongst elders, and it's been happening for thousands of years. Morality predates Christianity by hundreds of thousands of years. And the human race didn't kill itself off, so they must have been doing something right morally, and they had highly organized and highly conforming societies in which people took up different roles and survived. So they must have been doing something right. You said that morality needs to look forward to the future, but that's the very thing that Christianity seems not to do. It seems to be stuck in the past, especially the fundamentalist Christianity that you seem to represent. Looking towards the future and the idea of moral progress, of the world getting better, that's an invention of the Enlightenment. Those were ideas that most religious people at the time were against, especially the Catholic Church. It wasn't until very much later that the ideas of the rights of man, democracy, freedom, which again were opposed by Christianity, were then co-opted by Christianity, and now you have Christianity saying, oh, you know, the rights of man and everything were created by, the Reformation. Now, the rights of man predate the Reformation, and the Reformation was the result of the scientific and rational critique of religion. It's the other way around. But Christians like to co-opt everything that's good in the world and then claim credit for it. There's also this we need to understand that there's something called social evolution, which is the idea that morality progresses not because our genes are changing. It happens because there's something called social evolution, which is that social ideas that work stick around because they make societies that use them survive, and those that don't work fall apart, and the societies fall apart with them. So, for instance, capitalism, freedom, human rights, the rule of law, these things are around because the societies that use them are functional. And the reason they're functional is because these ideas work. So the ideas then, like viruses living inside a human body that keeps, or like a gene that stays inside a human body and is able to reproduce itself because it creates a body that can survive. In the same way, if you think of a nation as being a body, if it has ideas and organizations, and it has the dissemination of ideas within its people that can coordinate the efforts of those people in ways that help the society to survive, those ideas will survive along with it. So you have a social evolution, and we are in fact genetically designed to engage in social evolution. But the social evolution has a life of its own that has to be looked at separately from the physical evolution that we are geared to engage in. So it's as if the social evolution is something that has to be looked at separately, even though we engage in it because we're genetically set up that way. Your perception of moral evolution is flawed, and you don't look at moral development by Piaget or the sociobiologists. In other words, your concept of moral evolution is, and the morality of us as beings is scientifically, it's as if you're scientifically ignorant. I don't know how else to put it. You're simply not informed by the scientific evidence of why people are moral, how people act morally. These are things that can be studied scientifically and have been. There are whole entire libraries discussing how people morally develop over a lifetime, how morality changes in societies, why it changes. There are entire books written on the subject. And in social psychology and in psychology, we do experiments on morality all the time. We discuss it in psychotherapy all the time. So the idea that somehow Christianity has the last word on morality, and if you remove Christianity, suddenly you've got no concept of morality to work with, And the idea that evolution is the only thing left to discuss reality, to discuss morality about is bizarre. It's far more complicated than that. And evolution is not the be-all and the end-all of morality. Morality is a much more complicated subject that involves evolution and a whole bunch of other things, including cognitive neuroscience, sociobiology, and evolutionary psychology, and a whole bunch of other fields. It's very complicated, and we're still working at it. You talked about the example of killing a man, and you said that killing a person would seem to make the person's chance for survival go up, not down, so why would that create morality? Well, in fact, human beings and their societies survive when killing doesn't occur within the society, but when people can be prepared to kill whenever they have to protect the society. A society that can't kill when people are coming over the walls of the city isn't going to survive, and at the same time a society that has lots of murder and mayhem within the society doesn't survive. That means we're genetically geared to be killers but not be killers. This has created a whole bunch of problems, as you'll notice that people can easily go off to war and kill lots of people and come home and be normal frequently. This is because we're genetically geared to be that way. This push and pull between violence and fear of other people and wanting to know other people and seeing other people as alien to us and not seeing other people as alien to us, we have to master these feelings and master these instincts. And the idea that somehow that would lead to chaos and there must be morality from some other, for some other source, I don't think so. The morality does come from our biology and does come from social evolution. This is why there's so many problems in the world, is because we are in conflict over violence. We are in conflict. We're built to be in conflict. There is a conflict between, okay, I got to be ready to kill to save my society, but I've got to then not be a killer when I disagree with my neighbor next door. That's a very difficult thing for an organism to master, and we don't do it very well, as you probably know. Actually, one of the surefire ways to get people to actually act violent towards their others in a society, while at the same time feeling moral about it, is religion. Religion is the only way to get people to do and ideology in general, is a good way to get people to do heinously cruel things while feeling like they're doing something quite good. You talked about can nature generate complex organisms. I found that a really odd statement because we've pretty much already scientifically shown that it can. It has to. We're here. How else would it have happened? The evidence is overwhelming. Why would you even question that? Do you have some kind of evidence that all the scientists are lying? It's kind of a bizarre statement. You seem to be stating that complexity is an impossibility within our world. Well, why? Where do you get this idea that complexity would be impossible without the infusion of some kind of deity of some sort? And how do you define complexity? You talk about intelligence leaves behind a characteristic trademark or signature. But it's just that. It would, but it doesn't. There doesn't seem to be a signature in the world that I see. There's nothing about the world that I see that seems to show any kind of characteristic. The way our bodies are formed, the way the universe seems to be structured, it seems to be structured based on loose laws and not based on any kind of preconceived idea. If you were going to create a preconceived universe, it wouldn't look like the universe we're in. The universe we're in looks like something that's evolved over time, not something that was figured out ahead of time. I've only got like 30 seconds. You said, the question that I have to you is that on your site you say, how does atheism pose, you said that atheism poses a great danger to society. My question to you is, how does atheism pose a great danger to society? How? I would like you to explain that, because it seems to me that fundamentalist Christianity poses the danger.